Hello and welcome to Business Owners Unite, the podcast where we explore the challenges, successes, and lessons learned from those who have navigated the exciting yet complex world of business ownership. Whether you're just starting out or you're a seasoned entrepreneur, this podcast is for you to help, inspire, and guide you on your business journey. So let's get started and unite the world of business owners, one story at a time.
Welcome everyone to the Business Owners Unite podcast. I'm Kyle, your host, and today we have Bobby from Simplified Recruitment Solutions. How are you going today, Bobby? Doing well?
I'm having a fantastic day. The weather is terrible, but we just got to push through that, and it's a great day to be able to go out there and change people's lives.
Nice, man. Well, it's all about changing people's lives. I think every business owner aspires to help make the world a better place, help their clients and all that. I'm excited about talking about how you do that in your own particular way. For those who don't know the infamous Bobby, how would you describe yourself to our listeners?
I would say that it's a very generic kind of word or sentence, but I'm an out-of-the-box thinker. So everything that comes across my desk or table, anything at all, I always have a different view and a different way of looking at that. And that's why my businesses are all in a traditional industry, but they have a very different way of working with their clients and providing a service. So I like to think I am a bit like Elon Musk in a way, without the bankroll and without profit and loss. Can you imagine looking at his profit and loss?
Oh my God.
I couldn't even imagine it. And also, can you imagine his subscriptions? Oh, my subscriptions are crazy. So you can imagine that line. I'm not sure he uses Calendly, but that's one of my
Maybe he does, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think he's got like 200,000 employees or something crazy across his business. It's insane, man. Can you imagine?
Not looking at that profit and loss, no way.
Oh, Bobby, it's great to chat today because we've spoken a lot, and I know that you have several businesses. Like, you are quite the out-the-box thinker, quite the entrepreneur. You've got great energy, great networker, and I know that you've got a great business as well that is helping people in the NDIS sector. So what exactly do you do? Maybe that's a good place to start.
Yeah, so Simplified Recruitment Solutions was born after about 15 years of experience in recruitment, and I've done internal recruitment, which is very different to the traditional agency model. And I've done internal recruitment for companies like Rolls-Royce, Virgin Holidays, Chemist Warehouse, so large corporates. And I had another business before these businesses, which I grew from 2 people to 70 people in about 2 years. We went from $70,000 turnover year 1 to 4.5 million year 2.
Wow.
Through that process, I had to hire a lot of people, as you can imagine, and I was using some recruitment agencies to help hire some staff, and they were charging me 15% of a $300,000 salary times 7. And so I was kind of like, no way! And so it was a bit stronger than that, but let's just say no way. So I went away and just ended up doing the recruitment myself. And then I thought, how do other businesses, small businesses especially, recruit staff if they've got no other option apart from charging 15 to 20%? And so
that's awesome.
So I had the idea of simplified recruitment, of bringing in the knowledge of what I knew as recruitment, my processes and the systems that I'd used at Chemist Warehouse, at Virgin, and also at Rolls-Royce. And so I just put it into a piece of paper, wrote it down, went to a BNI, and went, hey, would you use this company? And people were like, yes, we would, but not for the fee you're charging because it's too low. So at that point, I was charging $500 per hire.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. We were just about to go into the pandemic though as well, so I was kind of like desperate for money. So I was like just kind of trying to grab some stuff out there. And so I wanted to bring to the market a way of people that could use the same systems and processes that I'd use in these large corporates, and we do it at a low cost, and we are around 50% cheaper or less cost than a traditional agency, and that's what we try and do, and we have lots of success. And in recruitment, I think we're one of the only industries in the world that have 2 clients. We have the client looking to hire, and we have the client who's the candidate. And so it can be very difficult trying to match those two up. And so we have around about 85% success rate of finding candidates. So it makes there's always a chance that it might not work, but at the end of the day, that's the same as any other recruiter would say about the same thing as well, about the same percentage.
That's a really interesting story, man. And I think just hearing how you saw a gap in the market for your own business, and that's what motivated you to start, is really inspiring. It's so interesting that so many business owners see those gaps in the market and they're like, nobody else is doing this. Like, people are charging how much? This is crazy. And then go, no, I'm going to change this because I think this is ridiculous. So good on you for doing that, and especially in the NDIS space where they're doing good work. Like, it's a good industry to be able to come in and be like, look, guys, you're paying way too much for recruitment. I can half your costs by simplifying the solution here. That's awesome, man.
That's it, and hence the name, Simplified Recruitment Solutions. And so we take away, we take away all of that effort away, and it's our tagline or slogan is recruiting smarter together, because there's part of the process that the hiring person or hiring manager, business owner is part of, and so we share that load, and it makes it a lot more streamlined, and that's also one of the reasons why we offer the lower fees, is because it's a collaboration, and it works well. We've hired across multiple industries, and of course, like you mentioned about the NDIS, I feel like that we don't realise, I hate the word lucky, because I don't believe there's like luck, but for me to be able to sit here and speak to you, run 3 businesses, go to networking events, go to these things, and then there's some people who would never leave their house, and you don't think about how 2 arms, 2 eyes, we've got pretty normal, as far as I think I am anyway. But there's people out there who can't do anything, and I think, oh my God, that must be, I can't even imagine it. And so I want to be able to help provide the support to get them the best support, and do it at a low cost. Because then the participant, which they're known as in NDIS, they're the winner. And that's what we need to be able to get through. And so if we can help as many people provide great support to their clients and their participants, then we're a win-win situation for us. Yeah,
that's very noble, man. I respect that a lot. Good on you for doing that. I think that's fantastic. I had a bit of a laugh because before you said that you kind of floated this idea to your BNI group, and they kind of said, no, I wouldn't go with this because it's too cheap. How did you find how to price that appropriately? Like, it's so baffling to me that people would say, no, too cheap. But I guess there is that psychological element of being like, there must be something wrong here, right? Like, this doesn't seem legit.
That's right. They say, it can't work. It can't work. Why are they charging $20,000 and you're charging $500? And we were definitely trial and error. We went through a whole, probably 30 to 40 price changes, also product changes, bringing new things in. And so I wouldn't increase the fee or our fees until I could add value to it. So it could be
nice.
Or it might be that I would split up the 15-step process that we would have and go, okay, well, you can have the first 3 steps, that's going to cost you this much, you're going to have the next 10 steps, and so on and so on and so on. But it's
smart, man.
But the amount of networking I've done, the amount of people I've met a lot of great business coaches and a lot of people who talk about pricing, and it's having the confidence to go, hey, this is how much it's going to cost, and that person's then going to go, okay, cool. And if they go, okay, cool, then you go, damn it, I should have done another $1,000. and that's what it is. It's getting to that point where you get to that pushback. And once you start to get to that pushback, you've got 2 options, right? You've got option A, you've then got to go and convert them with the value. This is why you're paying this much. Or you can go, do you know what? I'm going to go and say, just going to drop it down a little bit. So you're just going to say yes, but it's good enough for me, it's good enough for you. And so that's how I ended up coming to this point where I am. And so
that's such a good tip there. I think that you're wanting to price it to the point where it's kind of uncomfortable, and then you can either sell it on value or you can discount it. But you want to have it at that kind of upper tier, and it's hard to find that point.
It is, but I don't like that pushback of that, hey, this is why you should use us, and so I kind of go, okay, well, let's just not have it at that price point, so we have to have that conversation. And let's just do it at a price point where they go, okay, that's pretty reasonable, and let's move ahead. And so, and as long as it's, compared to, our average hire now is $5,000 compared to 500. And so when I look at the increase of that, I think that's great for us. But how we work with single hires is, again, because I want to be, I just don't want anyone, I don't like, ripped off is not the right word, but I like to be fair. And so how we do it is we charge 50% up front, and then once we've placed the candidate, they get charged another 50%. And so it's really fair. Everyone, we get paid some money to do the job, and then once we're successful, then we get paid for being successful.
Yeah, very nice, Bobby. I think this is really insightful. And I just want to drill in a little bit more, because you talked a bit about both of us being in service-based businesses. We've packaged our services in a way that it's kind of like a productized service. It's like you get this for this price, and it's steps 1 through 3. How did you drill down a little bit there? Like, I'd love to. That's probably something that a lot of people struggle with, I reckon. Yeah. People going like, I do a service, I pay per hour, so obviously I'm just going to charge by the hour. But it sounds like you've got a really good system and a really good productized service. How did you design that? It sounds like a lot of iteration.
Yeah, I mean, the beauty of doing this process, it will bring to light other products and other things you can bring into your business, right? So literally, I just wrote down step 1, write the job advert. Step 2, post the job advert. Step 3, shortlist the candidates. And that's the document that I show the clients, right? This is the steps of recruitment. These are the steps we're going to take. And so then we had 15 steps. And so then I'd go, okay, well, how about we have a product that covers the first 3 steps? And then we have a product that covers the first 6 steps. And then we have a product that covers them all. And so how we look at it, it's not so much the hourly rate, but I look at it and go, okay, well, we're only doing the first 3 steps. That's not going to take us a lot of time to deal with that. So this is the amount I'm going to charge. And so I worked it on the other way, like looked at the 15 steps. That's the premium product. That's going to cost you X amount. And so then if I was only doing 12 of those steps, then I would take off the cost of those 3 steps and then work back to that kind of smaller product.
That's great.
But then, everything evolves and changes, and sometimes it would be really complicated to talk about it. And so also, if you're talking to someone who didn't really understand recruitment, they'd look at those 3 options and go, oh God, I don't know which one. And the idea was the popcorn method, how you're going to say, this is the one you really want to go with them for, and it would complicate the sales talk. And so then I go, okay, well, let's scrap that and then just go for the full service where everyone gets everything, and that's the service that we provide now. It's the full 15 steps. But from that, other products come. So now I have a whole written service process where you can go and buy our processes and systems, and you can follow them step by step and do them yourself. It's got templates in it, etc. We also then have so when you go and hire someone for a traditional agency, they kind of have what's called a replacement guarantee. If that candidate leaves within a certain amount of time, they're going to go and replace that person. We call it recruitment insurance. And so because really what happens is if that person stays after that amount of time, then you lose it, like any kind of insurance, right? So how we work now is you have the single hire at 2,500, say 2,500 as a finder's fee, 2,500 as a management fee. Then that comes with 1 month recruitment insurance. Like any insurance, you can pay more money and extend that, like any guarantee, and that's what we do. We give the option to have purchase 3 months, purchase 6 months, or purchase 8 months. And obviously, the more insurance you buy, the increase of that cost goes up. But it's down to you as the person who's hiring to select that. So we have the baseline model, and then you can add add-ons to that. And so if you don't want to buy it, you don't have to. But if you want to have a bit more security, you might have a bit more cash, and you want to be able to have that security, then you can go up to 8 months, which is, I don't know anyone else in the world who provides an 8 months recruitment.
That's really generous. I know a lot of the recruitment agencies are like 3 months or something like that.
3 to 6 is standard.
6 is 3 to 6. I would say is pretty generous. Yeah, 8 months is a long time.
Of course, you've got to pay for that, though. You've got to pay for that
Yeah.
privilege of that. Like anything, you go to JB Hi-Fi and they go, "Oh, do you want to have this thing? It's going to cover you for actually
free year warranty.
Yeah, that's right. And if it doesn't break, you lose that money, and it's just the same thing. But the beauty of that is only paid once you've hired somebody. So you're not paying it up front to us. You're still paying the management fee. And then once you've hired someone, you're going to pay the finder's fee plus the insurance to cover that lifespan or the 8 months or whatever it is of that candidate.
Yeah, I love this. This is very helpful, I think, for people who are listening that are in service-based industries and are looking at like, how do I price myself? How do I kind of package this all together? So I think that's a big struggle, man. Like I think a lot of us get into running our own business because we want to help someone or we see a gap in the market. There was a need that we had that was out there and we didn't see any solutions, so then we jumped in. But then the pricing side and the sales side, a lot of business owners feel very icky about that. So I think if you could productize that and you can package it up being like, here, steps 1 through to 15, you're paying a premium for this, or we can break it up to steps 1 and 3 and adding on those extra features and values, a great way of doing it. So it's very inspiring.
It's very hard, and I think most business owners, like you say, have struggled with that. Hey, this is how much it's going to cost, because we have this thing in our heads, and it's the same with, you'll see it in social media and content and stuff like that. The amount of bookkeepers I've met, and I said, hey, you should be doing posts about bookkeeping. They went, who wants to know about that? It's boring. I go, but because you know it, like the same as I know it. And so I know the recruitment that we do. So I'm kind of like, oh my God, it's scary, pitching that fee. But the biggest tip I have around that is silence is your best friend. And if you can get over that silence, because a lot of people would go, so I'd go to you, hey Kyle, we can help you find this person, it's going to be 2,500 and then 2,500 when we've hired someone for you. Shut up. Do not say anything else. Just wait. Yes, they're going to be sit there. Most people aren't sales trained, but you're going to get the odd person who understands that you're playing the silence game. You just got to shut up, because if you go 1, 2, and then go, but if that's too much, because I've not said anything, and we can drop it down, right? And so you just got to shut up, because that person's thinking. That silence. Exactly. Just sing the song in your head, just to fill it up, because they're going to say something at some point. But it's a game. It starts to be a game. Who's going to speak next? You don't want to speak next.
That's it. I think honestly the best tip that I got out of that is if you make it a game and you really kind of like find that if you're getting anxious and you're like, oh, I hate sales, think of it like you're playing a game. Think of it like in terms of you're trying to help that person, and really like how can you like make it fun for yourself in a way. Everything in my business that I've hated, I've tried to learn and go, well, this is a skill that I want to learn. And I changed my perspective on it. I'd be like, oh, I hate having to do the books or, invoicing or whatever it is that you're kind of like, this is the thing I hate. And then I'm like, well, I want to learn how to do this. And then when you do, it's like, how can I improve this? How can I tweak it? How can I make this, kind of less difficult? If you look at things like that, I think it's such a great perspective. And it's just like the sales strategy, just shut up, just try it. Just make it a game. I'm going to try this next technique in the game and see if it works. I think it's a really good tactic.
That's right, because we feel like it's awkward and the person thinks it's too expensive, but 9 times out of 10 they're just going, okay, well, I've got this bill to come out, I've got this, I need this thing. They're thinking about other things. As if imagine if you're being pitched to and you're being given that quote, you're thinking about it. And so the second that you then go, I'll knock some money off, they could have been saying yes in their head to it, and then all of a sudden you've lost out on $500. But
exactly. It's a great way of doing it, man. Like I really do. I find that I struggle with sales. I struggle at pricing myself the way that I should, and I struggle at not discounting. So what I've been trying to do recently is whenever I speak to a client and have kind of a pitch or a call kind of going through things, I say, here's the value that we can unlock for you. Here's all the services that we can do. How much would this be worth to your business? And I let them answer it like a kind of like a poker game, right? Like I just sit there and let them answer. And I had a recent case where I was working for somebody and, it was a new service, and I kind of was like doing the maths in my head. I was like, I probably could charge $600 and I'd be happy with that. And this is, again, me super discounting my service and going crazy. $600, I'd be happy. So I'll say, $600, and And I was like, no, you know what? Before this meeting, let me see what they're prepared to pay, and let's go from there. So I went into that and was kind of like, look, here's what we can do. I know that you want a fast turnaround, so I'm more than happy to do this within, this timeline for you. I don't know if you've gotten quotes from other people. How much would this be worth to you? And I got a few quotes for $1,500 to $2,500 from other agencies. So $1,500 I think would be kind of like what I'd hope to pay. Nothing like too crazy, like $2,500 if it's like really good. And I was like,
oh my God, you're going to charge $600.
I was like, I'm so glad I didn't say that. That was a big lesson and a big learning for me to kind of be like, just shut up and be comfortable with letting them talk, because just like you said, man, sometimes they're just thinking. I think it's a great tip.
Yeah, it's all about having a process that you follow. I mean, I'm no sales coach, I'm not, but it's all about consistency, repeating the process so you can learn it where it falls down.
Yeah.
And it's easy with us, because if I go, hey, have you used a recruiter before? And they go, yes. And I go, did they charge you a percentage? And they go, yes, it was 20% of a $80,000 salary. Well, already at some point I'm going to say, well, it's going to cost you $5,000 for us. Yeah. And so already I'm priming that. I want them to say yes. I want them to say yes, they've used them before, because I know that I can blow them out of the water now.
Yes.
Not everyone says yes. The people say, I've never used one before. That's also a great thing, because then I change the picture around. I'm still going to talk about the fee, but I'm going to say, hey, are we going to do this for you, this? We're going to save you 30 hours of time. We're going to speak to all the candidates. And they're going to go, oh, thank God for that, because I don't have to do it myself. And so by asking the right questions, hey, have you used a recruiter before? You're going to be able to take you down an avenue of questioning and providing answers to convert that person. But of course, not every person's going to be your client. Recruitment is we get clients sometimes, they come or leads, they come on a call on a Friday and they go, yeah, I like what you're doing, send over the agreement, bang on. Wednesday comes along, agreement not signed. It's like, as a business owner, you're like, oh, bloody I've got to do the follow-up. So I do the follow-up and they go, oh, you never guess what happened? And I go, oh, what happened? And they go, oh, I was at football on Sunday and I got talking to this guy who knows somebody who's looking for a job, and I gave him the job. And I was like, oh. So sometimes things happen. It's totally out of your control. You can't control it. But having a consistent process, like everything in business, is key. Processes and systems are the DNA of your business, and that's not just the process that you have to provide the service, but also how does a sales call work? How does a one-to-one call? And I don't have it written down anymore because it's just consistent. And so when I bring someone on the call, we talk about try and get them to talk about them first, and I just listen. And they go, how are you? And I go, I'm great. I live on Bribey Island. It's a beautiful place. And I do something called breadcrumbs, leaving little things that they can grab onto so they can continue the conversation. And then they can go, and maybe they go, I've never been to Bribey Island. And you go, we've been to Queensland. And they go, oh yeah, went here. Oh, how was that? Blah, blah, blah. And they start talking and blah, blah, blah. And then, tell me more about your business. And for the first 20 minutes, I want them to say everything, because I want them to feel like, so then when I start to talk, they feel like I'm their best friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Have that
That's definitely the vibe I've gotten from you, man. Like you're very, very good at the interpersonal skills, and I think that's such a good skill to have, especially in business. Yeah. Credit to you, man. Like that's, I think, something that you can cultivate. I know a lot of people struggle with talking to people, but it's such an integral part of running a business, and especially selling. Like you do need to be you need to be good at listening to people and actually getting them to talk rather than you filling the space.
Well, if you want an easy life, this is a way you can get it, is by getting the other person to talk more. And so you get them to talk more, so you don't have to talk more. Well, you just go, there's nothing worse than sat there and going, oh my God, I've got to try and talk now. Being an introvert, it can be very difficult. But by me, there's nothing worse than going, hey, how are you? I'm good. Hey, how are you? I'm good. That's it. So I'm going to go, hey, I'm good. I live on Bribey. It's a bit wet. My mum's here. I've got dolphins in the sea. So try and give them as many things to talk about. So I can then sit back don't say anything, they're going to then give me breadcrumbs without realising it. And I go, he mentioned that you went on holiday to Sydney. How was that? Oh, yeah, blah, 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 blah.
Nice. Yeah. And do you find that in those calls as well, that you kind of go through a bit of a discovery phase with them as well? Like, tell me more about the problems you're experiencing with recruitment. Like, is it good personal rapport building that you find works best, or are you kind of using that to start the conversation around the business problem that they're facing?
Yeah. So if we talk about recruitment, I'd be like, what have you done already? Well, how would you normally do it? And so they would go, I don't normally do it, but I get the admin person to do it. So straight in my head, that's a tick on my little list.
Yeah.
Because they're not a specialist, they don't know what they're doing. So when we come around to talk about that, I go, what else does the admin person do? And they go, they answer the phones, they do this, they do this, they do this. And I say, okay, so if they're trying to chase a candidate and a client calls, who answers the phone? The client doesn't get spoken to because you're trying to find a candidate. Yeah, well, we're going to take that away from you. And so it's trying to find that pain point of where you can add that extra value. And so some of them might go, I do it as a business owner. I go, well, how about you can go and find some more clients, or you can go and take your team out, or you can go and do this, or you can just go and spend time with your family. And they go, how can I do that? I said, well, because you're not. There's 30 hours is in a recruitment process. From start to finish, if you to complete our process, it's about 30 hours. What can you do with that time? You can build your business. You can do nothing if you wanted to. And so it's trying to find that point where you can go and do all of this while we're going to do all of this.
Man, you've just packed this whole conversation with so much wisdom, man. This is great. I know there's going to be a lot of people who get some value out of what you're saying. I think sales and marketing are very similar in a lot of ways. It's really like figuring out people's pain points and then being able to align your product or service with those pain points. But so many people struggle with that. Like I find so many websites. I literally had a session just before, and we were auditing somebody's website, and it's all talking about the product. It's everything's product. Like it's a vegan product. It's this and that. And it's like you haven't addressed any problems that the customer is facing. And you're not aligning yourself with that person who has landed here and is wanting to find more information about what it is that they're struggling with. So I really love that you were talking about you find the pain points and you can see things that line up, like it's an admin person who's doing this. Well, that means that you're probably missing out on customer service when they are doing this, which is not their job, right? Like it's part of their job maybe at the moment.
They're not doing it well either. At least it's something. If it's the ad's a really good advert, they're communicating with candidates, but half the time they're not. It's because they don't know what they're doing, and so it's easier to get someone else. As we know, it's easier to outsource the stuff that you don't want to do or you're no good at, as long as you've got the cash to do it, obviously, and that way it's going to get a professional and someone who knows what they're doing. But you mentioned marketing. Recruitment is marketing. This is what people don't forget. This is what people forget. You're marketing your job to the job market to attract someone, like you would market your business to someone to come and use that. And we see it all the time in job adverts, right? When you see job adverts on Seek and stuff like that, and they'll be like, come and work for me, I'm amazing, this is what I do, I've done this, I've done that. And they haven't even told them what the salary is. It's like your job advert isn't for you, it's for the person reading that. The same as your marketing, same as your website isn't for you, it's for the client who's looking at that. So when you're writing the job ad, when we write ours, we have a whole discovery sessions of looking at other people's job ads, looking at how people search for jobs. And so in our job adverts are co-branded as well. So we can brand it with us, and also we talk about the client in there, as in the company, so candidates can go and look at it. But we have the blurb at the top, it's about 2 or 3 lines, and then the next 3 bullet points are the salary and benefits and this. So when the candidate is looking at the job, they don't need to scroll to get to it. They can just see it straight away. And then some of our clients go, but they might not apply because it might not be relevant to them. Good, because why would you want them to apply and then get to an interview stage, which is 2 steps, 3, 4 steps down the road, your time, and all of a sudden at the end of the interview they go, I want $90,000 and the advert's $60,000, and all of a sudden you've wasted everyone's time. And so yes, we want to stop people applying for it who is not relevant for, and it works both ways. We want to be able to not waste anyone's time, so that's why we make sure, that's why everyone, if you're watching this now and you're looking to recruit, you've got to put the salary in there. You've got to put what the benefits are to that person. And if you're scared that you're not offering enough, just go and look on Seek for the other jobs that in the industry that you're recruiting for, in the area you're recruiting for, and you'll see all the other jobs in there. And you've got to look at the salaries, and that's the salaries you've got to offer. If you're going to put a job advert up, and this happens to us, we advise our clients as best as we can, but at the end of the day, it's not our money. And sometimes we'll advertise a job, and below us, there'll be a job that's offering 20 grand more work from home, and we're offering 20 grand less work from the office.
Yeah.
But that's that's like having a Coca-Cola advert, then a Pepsi advert. But Pepsi's going, it's free. Oh, we've got a membership plan now. It's free for the rest of the year if you pay $10 a month, right? Well, and Coca-Cola's going, it's $500 a bottle.
Yeah.
I might not like Pepsi as much as Coke, but hey, that's going to be a better deal. And so this is we're competing against other people. So people come to us and go, what's the benchmark for this job? And the benchmark is on Seek now. It's not in a book. Yeah. It's not, this is what normally people get paid. That's what we're going to pay them. If that job's paying 20 grand more, 5 days a week from home, if you want the best people, you've got to be at least paying that and doing that.
That's so true, man. Yeah, again, awesome advice. And it makes sense that you can't have a benchmark that's just static, right? Like, it's dynamic. It's constantly changing, I imagine, from month to month based on what else is on offer. So doing that research is a really important part of the job. Like, you have to know what are your competitors, you know, trying to recruit, what are they offering, and can you either match that? And if not, you need to realize that that's probably going to diminish the amount of people who are applying for that job because they want the job with 20K that works from home. That's right. That's a good deal.
That's right. And we have clients who go, I can't afford to pay that. Well, then you can't afford to hire that person. You maybe need to be less experienced. Maybe you need to go train somebody a bit more. I don't have the time to do that.
True.
You can't. I would love to drive a Ferrari. I'd love to buy a Ferrari. I can't afford it. So I don't talk. I go buy the car that I can, and it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. Just because you're a business owner, there's no guarantee that that you can have a person that you want because you just don't have the ability to pay for that. And sometimes that comes with a cost of, okay, well, I'm going to have to give 50% of my time to this person for the next 2-3 months to train them up. Or I'm going to have to pay $20,000 more and get someone who doesn't need as much training.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Yeah, absolutely, man. Like, again, I think a big part of service-based businesses like ours is managing expectations of the client, because a lot of people, for me, I can only speak from my experience, they'll come in and be like, I'm expecting miracles from my Facebook ads, having a terrible website and a product that's 10 times more expensive than somebody else's. And you're like, no, probably not. Like, you need to have a good offer, it needs to be priced well, to have a website that helps you sell that offer. And if you don't have those things, it's most likely not going to work, right? Mm-hmm. I could be a wizard at Facebook ads, but it still doesn't mean, you can't polish a turd, so to speak. You need to have...
That's it.
You need to have a good offer, and it's the same as what you do. It's very much like if the client thinks that they can hire the Ferrari level employee into the business, but pay for a Toyota, I don't know, it's just not going to work.
That's exactly right. And it's an interesting analogy that you make there, because it's the same with us. Like, you've got the Facebook ads if your website's a load of rubbish. But if we bring you the best candidate and then you don't interview well, forget as in the client, because you've got to remember that you're being interviewed as well as the client.
Yeah, true.
As a person. Doesn't mean that person's going to come and work for you, and so you have to work on that. You've got to be able to provide a secure environment. If the candidate's going, I want this, this, and this, and this, I want training, and you're going, oh god, training! I thought you'd hit the ground running. All of a sudden, attitude comes out, and then you've got to think these people have got more on the line. An employee has got more. They're leaving the job normally to come to you. They safe, secure, normally, and then they're going to come to you, and then all of a sudden you're this other person. All of a sudden they're going to go, I'm not going to make this mistake. It's a life-changing thing. It's not so much a life-changing thing for an employer to employ someone because it doesn't affect you as much. But yes, of course you do. You've got to train, you've got to educate, you've got to manage that person. But they haven't just left a whole job to come to you. You're not. So you have to remember that they're changing their lives for you, and yes, you're paying them, but I look at it, and I think we should change the way how recruitment works. It's a partnership. If it's not employee-employer, hey, I'm Mr. Employer, you should come and work for me. It's a partnership. I'm paying you this money to you to provide this service, like the same as I do with you, Kyle. If you come and do my social media, I'm going to pay you to do that service. I don't treat you as an employee. It's a partnership, and it's the same again. This person is going to come in and they're going to do my accounts or my bookkeeping. Yes, they're an employee, but it's a partnership. They're providing you with their skills and experience that you don't have or don't have time to do, and you're paying them for that. And that's the way you have to look at it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think we're moving towards that. I know that there's like that servant-based management systems where it's very much like, I'm here to help you do the best job possible. My job is to serve you as the person doing that job, right? Like, you are not a slave. You are not somebody that I treat terribly. You are somebody that I want to enable to do your best work possible. And if that means making you feel good and included as a culture in the company, if that's, giving you the right training, giving you the right access to tools, these are the things that I do to help make you the best you can be. And obviously that's a partnership, right? You don't want to be a dictator, because nobody likes a dictator. At least, not that I'm aware of.
That's right. And the classic one we do get sometimes is, I just want another me. I just want to replicate myself. And I'm like, it's impossible. But the only way it can happen is that you give someone 50% of the business.
Yeah.
And they go, why would I do that? So, well, why would someone come and work how you work when you own the business and they're an employee? You can't do that, right? You can't your expectation has to be, this person's going to come and work 38 hours if they're full-time. Probably they're going to be doing 32 hours, really, when we talk about working and stuff like that. No one's ever as dedicated as you. And if you do find those people, either they want to be paid more money for it, and so if you can go in, if you want the best of the best, then you should be talking about profit share and percentage of the business. I'm not saying 50%. That was just but I get the point. Having that option, because then people are going to have more buy-in, because they have buy-in into the business. It's not just a day-to-day job they're coming in.
So true.
And so, if you want another you, what do you want to be paid? Do you want to be paid $500,000 a year? Then why wouldn't the other you want to be paid $500,000 a year?
Right? Yeah, absolutely. It's a very good point. I think these are all expectations that sound like people come into with, and you're like, no, let's take your expectation down to reality a bit, because
great word.
Nobody's going to work.
Is what damages. That's what hurts us. We have expectations of other people. If we don't have expectations, we're not going to get hurt. If I expect you to do these things because I do them, then all that's going to happen when you don't do them, I go, my expectation was you're going to do. But I shouldn't have that expectation. These are the rules, these are the job, this is the process, you go and do it. And my expectation is you're going to do that because it's written in the contract. If they're not going to do it, and that's another thing, you've got to make sure these things are in the position descriptions, you make sure you sign them. Because I know people in my world who have been employees, and I've worked with these people who've gone, you asked me to do this, but it's not in my job description, so I'm not doing it. And then they go, okay, well, I want to add it. Well, I don't agree with it. I'm not doing it. Okay, well, add it, but I want another $50 an hour. So you've got to be
But that's exactly like, hey, if you're gonna set the expectation or change the expectation that you've agreed on in your contract, that's fair game, I think. That's, like you said, it's a partnership, and if you're being a bit of a dick in the partnership and you're pushing more and more work on and being like, hey, I'm just going to tip this more and more in my favor without giving you anything in return, that's an unbalanced relationship. So it's not really a partnership, is it? So this is great, man. I love all.
I saw a really, I love TikTok, and I highly suggest people go onto TikTok. Business owners, there's loads of business content on there. People think it's people that, yes, of course you're going to get that, but you can just follow business coaches and business people, and you're going to get some great advice, right? And this guy is a employment coach who helps people get a job. And so when the question comes up, what's your salary expectations? He trains people to give them 3 salary expectations. Number 1 is, hey, it's $60,000 and this is what I'll do, X, Y, Z. If it's $80,000, I'll do X, Y, Z and X. If it's $100,000, I'll do all of that and this. And so
Nice.
rather than going, hey, I want $80,000, you're telling someone, hey, this is, so you've got a varied amount. And so obviously, as a candidate, you have to be able to accept that $60,000 if someone wants to pay for those things. But at least you're presenting the expectation to the employer of like, you can have the same as I do with my process. Well, I used to do with the 3 processes. You can have this, this, or this. The more process you have, the more it's going to cost. And so if I'm sat here in a new job and my job is, let's say, social media, but only posting on TikTok, that's my job. And you then come to me and go, can you also do it on Facebook now? And go, well, I trained to do that, but your job doesn't pay me to do that. And so I'm then going to charge, I want more money because you want me to do something that is different to what you've asked me to do. I have expertise in that, and you have to pay for that expertise. I'm not just going to go, I'll just do it. Most people do just do that. But really, the same as you. If someone comes to you and go, hey, can you just do my social media for TikTok? Then all of a sudden they expect you to do all social media. You're probably going to go, that wasn't really what we spoke about. The fees were this. And it's exactly the same as an employee. We should be treating them exactly the same. We want them to do more for us. We should be giving them, and this is all loops around to something as employer of choice. People will want to come and work for you because you're paying the value that person is bringing to the business, and you're not trying to, cut corners and trying to get someone to do something that they're not being paid to do. So you want people to go, who your current employees are singing the business praises. You want people to be able to come knocking on the door. I want to work for you. I want to work for you. And you're not going to get that if you're cutting the corners and treating them and getting them to do more work without providing them with the pay that they deserve to do that work.
Absolutely. This has been great, Bobby. Like so much information that you've shared.
It's crazy.
I feel like anybody watching this will have feeling like they've gotten a lot. They've learned a lot about recruitment. Is there anything that you find for small businesses? Because a lot of people that we know in the VX community are in the small business phase. They might not have employees. If you're looking to start, what would be kind of maybe couple of tips that you can give people who are just starting out on their first kind of recruitment project?
Sometimes you've just got to give people a chance, right? I would much prefer to hire on attitude than skills. If you get both, then obviously great. The downside to that is you have to give a lot of your time. And so when we bring anyone into our business, we have to show them what to do, train them, and that, we talk about onboarding and that kind of first training. People go, that's a couple of weeks. No, it's ongoing. It's ongoing. You've got to be making sure at the end of the day they're representing you. So you need to make sure that they're doing the things that you want them to do. If that means you've got to have, a 2-week training, 38 hours a week, going through everything, well, you have to commit to that. We can't. If you allow people to come into your business and go, hey, here's a document, go on with it. Yes, that's great, but you have to. How do you know it's right? How do you know they're doing it right? You know, sit with them, go through it, and educate them. So it's all about having touch points throughout the year of having a chat with that person, talking to them about how you're going, and working out whether they're doing the things you want them to do, so you can catch them before they do something that's not the right way. But how I recruited in the first business I had when I went to 70 people, we would do one advert, and then it's a bit different now because we could wait for that one advert to finish, then contact the candidates. Now you should be contacting them as soon as they apply because they're applying for a lot more jobs. Yes, you don't want to wait a week, 2 weeks. If you like them, you want to be contacting them and arranging an interview.
Definitely.
Back in the day, we used to wait until the advert finished. We would then go and choose the 3 best candidates out of that advert. If 3 of them were no experience at all, but we would interview them and then we would then train them. Because if you have the time to wait for that ideal person, bear in mind that could be 3, 6, 9, 10 months. Great. But if you can't, most people can do most jobs with training. You've got to be able to do that. So
you need to have the not just the ability to do the job. You need to have the right attitude in doing the job, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's easier to train someone with someone goes, yes, I can do that, rather than someone goes, that's not how we did it before. Yeah, but I'm doing the simplified recruitment way. This is how we do it. This is how it is. Employing your first person is really, it's a risk, it's a challenge, but so is business. And yes, you might have to give that person 3 months of your time to be able to get to the point where you want them to be self-sufficient. Yeah. And yes, that's going to might put you 3 months back, but remember, now you've got double the amount of people. So as long as you've recruited in the right way for the right reasons, this person, I have to do 30 hours of admin a week. All right, so that person's going to come in and do 30 hours of admin in 3 months. They're not going to come in the first week do 30 hours. They might do 2 hours of admin in the first, 3 hours, and 5 hours, and 10 hours. So at some point, after 3 months, you're going to get your 30 hours back. So the 30 hours
investment of your time.
Yeah, that's right. So you're not getting it right now, but you'll get it back in the future. And so, just remember, everyone gave you a chance at some point. I didn't just wake up one morning and I was a recruiter. How I fell into recruitment was I was an actual temp. We call them temps in the UK. I was a temp for Virgin, and they wanted to hire me permanently. I thought it was a great company, so I was talking to the recruiter or the owner of the recruitment company, and I said, these guys want to come in permanent. So I thought that that I'm probably going to finish the temp contract and go permanently. And the woman was like, "Don't go and work for them. Come and work for me." And I was like, that sounds pretty good. No recruitment experience at all. And so that sounds pretty good. I would like to see what recruitment's about. So I joined that. And it wasn't until, I've worked for a lot of other companies since then. And it wasn't until about a year and a half ago when I started to do content on LinkedIn and stuff like that she saw the content. And then she mentioned hiring with attitude rather than skills. And I was like, so why did you hire me? And then she went, because you had a great attitude. You had a great attitude, a can-do, positive attitude. You wanted to come in, you wanted to make a difference, you wanted to learn. Other people would come in and go, when's payday? This is boring, moan. You hire the right attitude, but that person gave me a chance. The same as someone at some point gave you a chance. You didn't just wake up one morning and use social media. Most people are an expert at what they do is because they were an employee doing that job, then thought they could do it better, and then go into that. But if that person never gave you that chance in social media, then you wouldn't know about it. And so
true.
Remember that. You don't always have to find that perfect person. As long as you get someone in and you think, do you know what? They remind me a bit like me, they've got great attitude. Of course you still got to do reference checks, maybe psychometric testing, but the world is a pain in the arse, right? You could find the best person, best attitude, best everything. They start a week later, this is a true story, we've had this as well. A week later, we get a phone call from the candidate, I've got to leave. Why are you going to leave? You're a great candidate for it. Oh, my partner's got a job and they're going to move into Perth. See you later. You can't stop that. I just found out I'm pregnant and now actually we want to just relax and just be pregnant and my partner's going to pay all the bills so I don't need a job anymore. You can't control that stuff. Doesn't matter. You can do all the reference checks, do everything you want. People are still human beings. You can only do the best that you can to provide them with that education, that training, that great process into your business. And because the old saying, rubbish in, you get rubbish out. And it's exactly the same with your CRM, exactly the same with when you hire people. If you hire them and train them with rubbish, they're going to give you rubbish.
So true, man. So true. That's great advice. I think, so to summarize, hire on attitude and give people a chance because, it does take time to get them up to full speed, but you will get the investment back. If it takes you 3 months to get them to full capacity, that might be 30 hours of your week that you're getting back, or maybe 50, I'm not sure.
It depends.
Awesome. Bobby, this has been great, man. Honestly, thank you so much for jumping on the show. I thought that before we wrap, though, I would love to ask a few rapid fire questions. I've got 3 that I've been asking every guest, more so about how you look after yourself in your business and in your personal life as well. So you happy to go through those now?
Yeah, go for it.
Awesome. The first question is, how do you look after yourself in terms of your physical and mental health as a business owner?
So the biggest thing that I use to allow me to be the person I want in the life I want, I use time blocking in my calendar. So I run three businesses, and so everything from my social media post, to my bookkeeping, to my call, to meetings, to whatever it is in my calendar. So I can sit there and look at the week view, 5 days, don't work weekends, sometimes maybe an hour here just to catch up on something maybe. But I can look at it and then I can see where there's empty blocks. And so I can go, I've got 8 hours spare this week.
Nice.
And so also because I've got those time blocks in there, when it comes up, I do it. And that's really important when you're time blocking. When it comes up, you go and do the thing you've got to do.
Yeah.
Because what it allows me to do then is get away from this, not the fear, what's the word, the bad thoughts in my head of going, okay, well, I've got nothing on for the rest of the day. I've got to do something because I'm a business owner. I've got to go and do something. I've got to make a call maybe, I've got to go and do this. Well, if you're time blocking, you would have had the time for your calls. And if you've actioned it, you've already done the calls. I've got to do social media posts. Well, if it was in your calendar and you time blocked it and you did it, you can then sit there and go, do you know what, I'm going to go and lie in my bed, I'm going to have a nap for half an hour, I'm going to go and TikTok for half an hour, I'm going to go and do this, I'm going to have some lunch. So time blocking and weekends, I try not to do anything on weekends, business-wise, because, I do 38 hours a week, sometimes 30 hours a week. I'd say on average it's about 30 hours a week. So if I can't get all my stuff done in the week, then I need to manage my time better.
Yeah, that's a great hack. Yeah, definitely think that that's a great tip. So time blocking is the best way to kind of look after yourself. The next question I was going to ask is actually, I think you've answered it, but it was how do you get shit done? What's your productivity hack? But it sounds like time blocking might be it.
Yeah, time blocking, put it in your calendar. When it comes up, just do it. Just do it. Yeah. And the important thing about time blocking is that really there should be no distraction. So wherever it is, doesn't matter what it is. If it's I'm doing social media posts, doing a networking event, I'm not looking at my phone. I'm not looking at my email. I'm not going to get distracted by that thing coming. And people go, oh, what about client calls or whatever? All right, well, there's nothing in my world of recruitment that is going to be so desperate that I have to take that call within an hour. Oh my God, okay, whatever the lead comes through. Well, I'm sure they're also busy doing things, we're all busy. We forget. We think that other people are waiting for that. No, I'm doing 10 million other things at the same time.
Yeah.
The important part is if you don't do it when you said you're going to do it, all that happens is you don't get it done. You then start to message people on Facebook or LinkedIn because I don't have any notifications on. I don't have anything. I don't even have my work emails on my phone.
Wow, that's insane.
It still survives.
I think it's something that I could definitely, take on board. I'm sure there's other people listening who are going, "Wow, maybe I should try that out."
Yeah. Okay. One more thing. I actually follow this guy on TikTok, and he's just in retirement. He's just retired, right? And so he's now trying to train his brain away from being an employee to being retired. And I was like, that's a great way to look at life. If I look at my life as I'm retired, and all these other things are things just to keep me busy, but I've got to do those things, right? Then I'm living the life that I want to live because imagine I'm retired, and these things are just there to keep me busy. And so then all of a sudden I want to do those things as well as I can, but as quick as I can, because I'm retired. I want to go and sit down and do whatever. I'm not saying everyone thinks the same way as me. How I see entrepreneurship is that I should be sat on a beach answering an email once a week and someone else is doing that.
Yeah.
Not that I have to do everything. Right?
I like that.
But some people want to do everything. Some people want to have a job for themselves where they do everything and they want to be busy all the time. And that's fine. You have to build your life and your business around how you want it to be. Because if we're doing it around it for someone else, we might as well go and work for someone else, all right?
Yeah, that's true, man. Yeah, absolutely. I think lifestyle design is a really big part of running your own business, and a lot of people forget it. Like, you think you end up becoming an employee in your own business, and then you feel trapped, and you might start resenting your business. So it is important to think about how you want to design your lifestyle. That's a great tip, man. That's really, I think we could talk for another hour. This is fantastic. I think we need to schedule in some more time. But before we wrap, the final question I had for you was, is there any software or tool in your business that you couldn't live without? Is there anything that you think all business owners should have a look at,
Yes. So we all got CRMs, and they're all pretty standard. And yes, they can do the follow-ups and stuff like that. But sometimes it's not something you put in your CRM. So how do you keep on top of that? So I use something called Follow Up Then. So if you just Google follow up then, all one word.
Follow up then?
Yes, it's really cool. So let's say I'm sending Kyle an email. In BCC, I'm going to type in how many days or months I want to follow up with that person. So I put it in BCC so you don't see that, right? So I might go, send Kyle an email, and I want to follow up in 4 days. So I put 4 days follow up, it comes up, I then send you the email, and in 4 days' time, follow up then is going to email me to say, you said you were going to follow up with this person or do whatever action.
Nice, man.
And so you can do 1 month, 3 months, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. And so let's say that somebody wants to jump on a one-to-one with me, probably not important to go into the CRM enough. So I'll go, okay, cool, I'm free on this date next week. I would do follow-up 3 days, then delete that email. So it's out of my inbox, tidy, and then I'll forget that thing about that, and then 3 days later, if I haven't responded, then that email will come in and it will show me the email that I sent out. So I'll go, oh yeah, that person said they wanted to, then I'd follow up
awesome.
up with them then. That's why it's called follow up then.
Follow up then.
And it's free. It's free.
Oh man, I love free tools. They're the best.
It's really great.
Awesome.
Honestly, the amount of deals and the amount of people that I've met and I've used that, and especially with 3 businesses, I've used it in all 3 businesses. It just allows me to keep on top of those important things I don't want to miss out on.
Nice. Awesome. I'm definitely going to check that out after this. So follow up then is the life hack of today. Bobby, it's been an absolute pleasure, man. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. You've brought a world of wisdom, great energy, and it's just been a blast listening to you share all of your stories about the business. Where can people go to check you out if they were needing some help with recruitment, they want to save big money on their next recruitment bill? Where can they go to contact you?
I'm all over LinkedIn, Facebook, so you can find me on LinkedIn, Bobby Semple, Simplified Recruitment Solutions. You can look for that as well. Website is simplifiedrecruitment.com.au. Obviously, you can reach out to Kyle if you want. You can contact me that way. But I'm sure if you just typed in Simplified Recruitment Solutions in Google, we will come up as well. I do a lot of content across all platforms, well, Facebook and LinkedIn as a minimum. And it should come up if you search for me.
Perfect. And for everyone watching as well, I'd highly recommend joining Bobby's Business Club, which is a fantastic resource for business owners and a great community as well. I've recently joined. I've been busy moving, so I haven't been as active as I'd like to be, but I'm looking forward to networking a bit more and getting as much value from there as I can. It's been awesome so far, so definitely check that out as well.
Thanks, mate. Yes, it's a great community, and I've tried to bring another spin. Again, recruitment's a bit different, and so is the business club. It's a bit of a different way. Everything we do has a foundation of networking, and we have a networking event where it is about networking, but we do other events which are to help you in your business, to provide more content, to have confidence putting content out there, to doing things like what Kyle does on this thing. We have something called a chat show, but the idea is that as a baseline is networking within that, but we're promoting you and getting you confident in providing your own content out there in the world. And we have a magazine, we have LinkedIn posting parties, so it's not just about networking, it's about getting the most out of the tools out there that can help you in your business.
Yeah, it's perfect, Bobby. Well, yeah, definitely recommend it, and I'm looking forward to checking it out more. So thank you again for joining us, brother. I wish you well. Have some great time with your mum who's visiting at the moment, and really appreciate you being on the show.
Thanks, mate. And I can do that. My mum can come over because I'm time blocking, right? So I'm time blocked. Don't tell her, even my mum's time blocked. So it's all in the calendar what we're going to do, so where we're going to go, what time. So it's because time goes by very quickly. All of a sudden,
it does.
3 weeks will be gone. She's here for 3 weeks from the UK. All of a sudden, that time.
You've got to block it out, man. I think it's a great tactic. So I try to do it, but I think I need to. This is the universe telling me to focus back up and get into it again.
The key is that you time block it, you do it. If you don't do it in his time block, what's the point? There's no point doing it.
Exactly. Awesome. Well, thanks again, Bobby. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, mate. I'll see you soon.
Cheers.
And that brings us to the end of another episode of Business Owners Unite. Thank you for spending this time with us and being a part of our growing community of entrepreneurs. If you liked what you heard, please show your support by subscribing and leaving a review on your platform of choice. Your feedback helps us grow and continue to bring you valuable content. Remember, your business journey is unique, and we're here to support you every step of the way. Stay tuned for more inspiring stories in our upcoming episodes.